Hello and welcome to a concise movement class. This is a short movement class. You're going to want a block and maybe a belt, and then everything else, any other props are totally optional. You're going to start lying on your back with your feet on the ground and your hands alongside your feet, or alongside your heels, kind of wherever they land, however long your arms are. And we're going to do this very simple exercise to begin. You're going to take your left arm and lift it up, and at the same time, the opposite leg, so the right leg, and you're going to extend it. And then they're going to end up reaching away from each other, and the back of your left hand's on the ground, palm up. The right, the heel's on the ground. And then return everything to where it started. And then try the other side. So right arm and left leg. Breathing in. And then coming back, foot down, hand down. And then continue, left arm, right leg, breathing in and extension, expansion, breathing out, return. Left hand down, right foot down, right arm up, left leg, inhale. And exhale, come back, foot down, hand down, and continue, right? Really simple now, and I'm gonna be a little quieter so that you can start to listen to your breath. Exhaling, you return to the starting place, inhaling, extension. And exhaling, return. We're going to continue this a little longer with the hope that we might start to bring ourselves into that meditative state through the rhythm. Really stay at the top of the inhale and come back and stay there at the bottom of the exhale for a moment before you begin again. I'm going to do one more set. The last side will be right arm, left leg, extending and then returning, and that's how we know that we've completed. Beautiful. So for this next exercise, take your left arm up again, but now grab a hold of the outer arm with your right hand, and then pull that arm across the body so that you end up with a stretch of your left arm. Make sense? Now take your feet as wide as your mat, and then let your knees knock together. And then let them knock over to the left. So you're gonna end up, and then you're welcome to turn your head to the right. You're gonna end up in this interesting twist, and I'm just gonna sit up and show you from this angle, right? So here. Couple more breaths, and just notice the sensations. And notice the feeling of opposition, twisting one way with the upper body and another way with your lower body. Let this last exhale, so take a big inhale this time, and then let the exhale go out of the mouth, and pull your belly to the spine so the exhale is totally gone. And then come back up and switch sides. So now right arm comes up, left hand outside of the right arm, and pull it across the body. The feet are wide, and the knees can knock together, and then over to the right. And if this doesn't feel good in any way, you can kind of rewind and take a version that does. Couple more breaths. Just keep bringing your awareness into the body, right? This is where it's all happening. This is all happening in the present. Take a big inhale. Exhale out of your mouth. Come back up to center with the knees, then hug the knees into your chest and rock your way up to sit. Cross at your ankles, come into downward dog. You do whatever you like to do, need to do in downward dog. Take a couple more breaths there. Again, I want the attention, the awareness inside of your body. And so you're just gonna keep calling it home into the body every time that you can. Now from downward facing dog, go ahead and come forward into a plank pose. And I want you to feel the crown of the head moving forward, the heels moving back, feel that sort of opposition. Notice what's going on the two sides of the body and let them work together in a collaboration. Feel the center line of your body really strong and active. Take a big breath in. And then lower your knees, chest, chin to the ground as you breathe out. Your heart will end up on the mat. And then glide the heart forward, point your toes, pull your shoulder blades together. Cobra. Then child's pose. In child's pose, first I want you to reach a little bit longer through the left arm and just notice what that is. So I'm actually lifting up my palm and kind of tenting my fingers and really reaching for that left arm and just really activating and stretching, just noticing that I can highlight that arm. And then I'm gonna let that one soften and I'm gonna see if I can do the same thing with my right arm. Maybe tented fingers, maybe kind of puffed up armpit. It doesn't really matter. The point is I want you to just emphasize that side. Okay? And then both sides, right? Both sides active, so maybe tented fingers on both sides. Take a big breath in. Exhale out of your mouth like you're composting into the earth. Thank you, Mama Earth, for taking my compost. And come forward onto hands and knees, downward dog. And this time from downward dog, we're gonna come to three-legged dog. So you're gonna lift up your left leg. Take a big breath in. Exhale, round the left knee forward, shoulders over your wrists, and hover there for a moment. Then step the left foot in between your hands. Pick up the left arm and take a twist. Simple, low lunge twist. 5 breaths. 1. Breathe for 2. So this series is about equal and opposites. So I want you to notice for every energy in the body, breathing 3, notice the opposite energy moving in the opposite direction. Heel back, head forward. 4. One hand down, one hand up. 5. From the belly button down, we're just kind of straight in the lunge, but the twist is happening in the upper body. Lean your heart back. Good, then take the left hand down, step to plank pose again. Exhale again, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra, legs straighten, toes point, chest lifts. And exhale, lift up and back. Make your way to down dog this time. And take a few breaths in downward facing dog. The breath itself, of course, equal and opposites, right? The whole inhale and it's balanced by the whole exhale. Pick up your right leg, take an in-breath. Round the knee to the nose, shoulders over your wrist as you breathe out, and then step that right foot down. Raise the right arm up, and here you are in your low lunge twist. And then play with this concept of equal and opposite as you breathe. Breathe deeply. 2. 3. 4. Exhale, 5. Take the right hand down. Step back one more time to plank pose. Lift, actually kind of lift up through the chest a little bit, right? Drop the shoulders down so that the chest can actually brighten. And this, if you want to do chaturanga, if you feel ready, you could. Or knees, chest, chin. Cobra or upward dog. And then finally, downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Find the rhythm to your breath, right? Find that sense of equal and opposite breath. And then we're actually going to go right into a little sequence now, a little standing sequence. If you're seeking to be a little more warmed up, if you're seeking to get a little bit more detox action out of this class, ujjayi breath, right? So that heated breath might be helpful. Okay. You're going to inhale, lift the left leg. Inhale. Exhale, step that foot forward between your hands. Inhale, raise the left arm, just like we did before, twist. But this time, as you come up, as you exhale, warrior two. So push your feet into the floor, spin the back heel down, and then rise all the way up. We'll stay in warrior two this time, gazing over the left fingers, breathing deeply for one. Breathe. Two. Hear your breath, feel your breath, be in your body. 3. 4. And 5. Beautiful. Reverse warrior. So you're going to tip back. And then for today, what if you made your arms like one at the top and one at the bottom? Yeah, so the bottom arm is it's almost like it's holding a basket. Right? In the top arm, it's almost like you're holding one big orb. And then you're going to straighten the left leg and you're going to parallel your feet to the side. Yeah, and just take a moment and sort of lean to the side. And you're welcome to extend this top arm if that feels good. So now in this interesting side stretch, and you're welcome to use this left arm now to actually feel this whole side here, right? Feeling the stretch. The stretch comes from the opposition of that back foot and this top fingers, right? And now you're going to come up and neutralize the spine, and we're going to take Gomukhasana arms. And this is where you might want the strap. This is the one place you might want the strap. You're going to pat your upper back, then take your right thumb, spin it down. You can obviously use like really anything. You've got a sweater there or a sock, I don't know. And then if you can take your fingers, hold, and then lift up through the chest, breathe in, breathe out, fold. Yeah? So once you fold forward, it's going to be more intense in the shoulders. If it's too intense in the shoulders, do something different. You can absolutely just come out of the arm variation. Just be really mindful with the right arm because it's pinned behind your back. You just want to be careful on how you dislodge it. Take 2 more breath cycles, really full, generous breaths. For 1. Big breath. For 2. Really nice. Okay. You're going to come all the way up, use the strength of your core. Now here's how we're going to do this. You're going to turn to face the front of the mat again for a high lunge. We're going to be mindful of dislodging the right arm, like I said before. So first just take the left arm up into the air. Then let the right hand come down your back, down the spine. And let that arm just drop, right? So right arm dangles, left arm lifts. And then you're going to just step forward to the top of the mat. Bring up the right arm, take a big inhale, look up. Big exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine. You could take a chaturanga jump back, or you could manage your way back to downward dog, however you like. When you get to downward dog, find that rhythmic breath, maybe with ujjayi. So that's that heated breath that's created by a little aspiration in the glottis, right? It's a little constriction in the glottis that makes that sound. So find a rhythmic ujjayi breath. Sounds kind of like that. And then it's that rhythm of the breath that we're actually following as we lift the right leg, inhale. And as we step forward, foot down between your hands, exhale. Right arm up, take your time as we go through this fluid part. Warrior two, use the strength of your legs, feet, core, come all the way up. Stay in Virabhadrasana 2, soft gaze over right fingers for 1. 2, breathe. 3, breathe. 4, breathe. 5. Now, tip back to this reverse warrior, but we've got this feeling of holding the ball, right? You're gonna straighten the right leg and parallel your feet to the side. And then you're gonna keep kind of leaning to the left, and now if you want, you can straighten that right arm and take this left hand, and just if you want, right? Feel the what happens when we have equal opposition from foot to hand, and maybe accentuate that side stretch. Now we're gonna come upright with the spine. You're gonna take the right hand now behind the back, pat the upper back. Left arm comes out wide to the side, and the left thumb spins down. Take the full bind or take some variation that works for you. Lift up through your chest and then fold forward. As you fold forward, things are gonna change. Right, and that's all right, we don't mind. But you just may have to adjust. You may have to take your hands and put them in slightly different places, or maybe you switch to a belt. 2 more breaths, really full, generous breaths. Send the breath into the very spaces where you need it, where you feel sensation. Come up, use the strength of your legs, your core. Some of us may need to micro bend the knees for that transition. And then turn to face the front of the mat, so you're in this high lunge shape with the legs. You're gonna let the right arm lift up, you're gonna let that left hand come down the spine, and then kind of hang, dangle alongside your left waist. Then you're gonna step forward, right foot next to left. Take the left arm up to meet the right, inhale, look up. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Your choice to jump or step back. Taking a big breath in as you lift the chest, taking a big breath out as you lift the hips, press down through the hands and the feet. Find your ujjayi breath and then find that equal opposition, right? What's in opposition here? Hands down, hips up. Feel the strength inside that makes the opposition possible. So for every pole of the opposition, there's something in the center, right? Holding it all together. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna actually tie all of that together as a little flow, and we'll add on a little bit as well. Okay, find that rhythmic breath, press down through the hands and the feet, engage your core. Inhale, lift your left leg, big breath in. Exhale, step the foot forward between your hands. There's no rush. Left arm lifts, inhale. Warrior 2, exhale. Reverse warrior like you're holding that low. Okay, so tip back. Good, you're gonna straighten that left leg, parallel your feet. Take the left hand behind the back. Maybe you take the full bind, but you don't really need to. Right, we're not actually going into the forward fold. We're just gonna find the shoulder opener, lift up through the heart. Then turn back to face the front of the mat. Just like we did before, take the left arm up, let the right hand come graze the spine and go down the tailbone, and then dangle. Here's what we're adding on. You're gonna step forward and pick up your right knee, moonrise twist. Now the left hand can go outside of the knee. The right arm now comes up in line with your shoulder and you look over your right shoulder. Of course, you could take the full version where you have the hand outside of the foot, which I'll demonstrate. Breathe for 2. Really feel strong through that standing leg. So it push down through the standing foot, up through the crown. 3. Forward through the heel, back through the right fingers. 4. Belly in. Twist a little deeper. 5. Back to a high lunge. So let the right foot land behind you on the mat. Arms come back up to the sky. Last pose in this standing sequence to twist to the left. So right arm will come outside of the left leg. And you can either bring the hands into prayer, I'll show you here, or you could take opposite arms, right hand down, left arm up. If there's some other variation like a bind, you're welcome to take it. We did warm up the shoulders, that might be doable. 2. Notice what's in opposition here. 3. Play with the poles on either side, but also play with the center. Last breath. Really push it out, breathing out. And then go ahead and take the hands down, meet me in downward dog. And if you want to take a vinyasa, you can, but find the rhythmic breath, that's the most important thing. And we've got one more side, one more aspect to this flow. So, find the breath, find the points of opposition, and then let the right leg float really high in the sky. Breathe in. Step the right foot forward between your hands. Breathe out. Raise the right arm. Breathe in. Warrior 2. Breathe out. Reverse warrior, like you're holding a globe, so bottom arm is kind of cupping, right arm is over top. Then straighten the right leg, parallel your feet, and take a moment here. Pat your upper back. Maybe take full Gomukhasana. Breathe, big breath into your heart, lift it, then turn to face in front of the mat again. Back heel up. Let the left hand graze down the spine, let the right arm come high. And then step onto the right foot and bring the left knee forward. Take the right hand outside of the knee or the foot. Left arm can come up and back. Breathe 1. Hear your breath. 2. 3. Feel the poles, feel the center. Let it all work together. 4. And 5. Stepping way back to a high lunge. You kind of have to unwind the upper body, step that foot back, and then we'll wind to the right. Left arm comes outside of the right leg. Maybe you press your hands in prayer. Maybe you split your arms. Big breath. 2. 3. Breathe. 4. 5. Take the hands down and meet me in downward dog. All right, winding it down now from downward facing dog. Go ahead and look forward and hop or step all the way through to sit. And choose a forward fold. Choose one forward fold to be in for about 10 breaths. And of course, if you choose a one-sided forward fold, you'll be on each side about 5 breaths. Okay, so totally your choice. Really, any forward fold will be totally fine. Whatever feels good in the body. And once you're here, start to slow down the breathing. Feel the points of opposition. And each pose has its own points of opposition, and each pose has its own center. Good. Really allowing yourself to go all the way in to this experience. On an inhale, come on up to sit. And then you're gonna come onto your back, and we are gonna use this block. So if you have a block nearby, and you don't need it, but if you have a block nearby, you're gonna squeeze it between your legs. Go ahead and grab that. Toe tips on the floor and arms forward, palms up, and then round onto your back. Once you come onto your back, just adjusting to make sure I'm in the right spot. Once you come onto your back, what you're gonna do is you're gonna lift up your hips, you're gonna push into your feet and squeeze the block so much that your hips lift. Yeah? And then lower the hips. Now we're gonna add in an opposite motion with the arms next. So now you're gonna lift up your hips, breathe in. As you breathe out, you're gonna lower the hips and you're gonna let the arms come up alongside your ears. Big inhale. Lift the hips, lower the arms. And big exhale. Good, do that just a couple more times. And exhale. Pausing at the top of your inhale for this last one. Really pausing, really filling up. And with the last exhale, lower the hips. Now it's totally up to you. You can do one wheel pose if you feel ready for wheel, hands alongside the ears, or you could do a bridge pose with the fingers interlaced behind your back, or you could take that block, instead of it being between your thighs, you could put it underneath your sacrum. And wherever you've landed, 5 breath cycles. 1. And more important than the outer shape is what's going on inside. How are you relating to this experience? Now next, I'm actually going to give you another choice, and this one's even a little wider, but you're welcome to choose an inversion next, or any closing posture that feels great. Yeah, so this is the last minute of our practice before Shavasana. And if you want to do something very simple, if you're feeling like you're wanting things to just stay really easy, just lift your legs up, maybe with that block underneath your sacrum, and then boom, you're in a sweet, wonderful inversion. Now you're going to start to make your way into whatever your final rest shape is. Don't feel in any way rushed. And I always invite people to, if they get really inspired by this half an hour of movement, keep going. You don't have to stop. But if you are ready to close the practice, you always want to find yourself in a totally relaxed supine form. Traditionally, Shavasana is the shape, which is corpse pose, right? It's just legs extended, arms extended alongside the body, resting on your back. But anything that feels like you could actually totally relax every cell of your body is a fine shape. We've been engaging equal and opposite forces in our bodies in order to do these poses. Shavasana is where we return our essential energy and power basically back to the whole. And so now notice that when you let go, there is a force that steps in. It almost feels like the earth herself comes to cradle you. In the moment where we release all effort, we discover a power so much greater than the individual will. It's brave to surrender, but there is a great reward. You're welcome to rest here as long as you need. When you do feel ready to transition, move very slowly onto one side. Up to seated. And it's always really powerful to close your practice with just a little quiet moment, perhaps a dedication. Om Bolo Shri Satguru Mata Devi Ki.